Good morning, children. In the last class, we were completed the topic until the mutation and pedigree analysis, isn't it? Today, in this class, we will continue. There is another wonderful topic that is nothing but genetic disorder. Okay. See, in this first slide only, the picture is given. One of the child, you must have observed such type of the children in the society, isn't it? So then the question arises, why they are like this? The reason we will get, in the branch of that biology, that is nothing but human genetics. Okay, so a genetic disorder in human society is studied under a specialized branch called human genetics. So those are all things we will study in this genetic disorders topic. Okay, and when it comes to the genetic disorder, as I said, the human genetics is a specialized branch, isn't it? A genetic disorder in human society is studied under a specialized branch called human genetics, and the human genetics is a branch of science that deals with the study of inheritance of characters in humans. Okay, so these genetic disorders are broadly grouped under two categories, namely Mendelian disorders and chromosomal disorders. So let us study one by one. As I said, the genetic disorders, in one line definition, if somebody asks what is a genetic disorders, the genetic disorders are the disorders due to change in genes or chromosomes. Okay, and I told you in the beginning only, the genetic disorders in human society is studied under a specialized branch called human genetics. Okay, then, and when it comes to the categorization, as I said, the genetic disorders are broadly classified into two categories, namely the Mendelian disorders, another one is chromosomal disorders. In Mendelian disorders, hemophilia, color blindness, thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, phenylketonuria, cystic fibrosis. So these are all comes under the Mendelian disorders. And when it comes to the chromosomal disorders, in our syllabus only they have given only three: the Down syndrome, Turner syndromes, Klinefelter syndromes. When it comes to the complete report, I will tell you the remaining things also. But in theory part, whatever they have given, we will study one by one. Okay. Once again, remember what is the genetic disorders. The genetic disorders are the disorders due to change in genes and chromosomes. Okay, fine. See, as I said, when we call it a Mendelian disorders, the Mendelian disorders are mainly due to alternation or mutation in the single gene. Okay, so they are also known as monogenic diseases. Note down this point. When it comes to the competitive, they will ask what are monogenic diseases. The Mendelian disorders are mainly due to alternation or mutation. You know very well that what is a mutation? Sudden heritable changes in the single gene. Okay, they are also known as monogenic diseases. And then when it comes to the pattern of inheritance is very clear and straightforward in them. So these disorders are transmitted to the offspring as per the Mendelian principles of the inheritance. So that's why they are also known as Mendelian disorders. They will ask one more question: how can we say so they are Mendelian disorders only? So the pattern of inheritance is very clear and straightforward in them. So as well as these disorders are transmitted to the offspring as per the Mendelian principles of inheritance. So that's why they are popularly known as Mendelian disorders. Okay, and if they ask the examples also, the most common Mendelian disorders are hemophilia, color blindness, sickle cell anemia, phenylketonuria, thalassemia, cystic fibrosis. So these are all some of the most common examples, and we will study one by one in this syllabus. Okay, and the pattern of such inheritance can be traced in a family by the pedigree analysis. Okay, so that we can trace these things also. So by using the pedigree analysis, we can trace the pattern of such inheritance. Okay, so where it maybe arises earlier, and where in the next generation, when will be it may appear in the next generation, so that it can be traced. Okay, so that means remember, the pattern of inheritance of the Mendelian disorders can be traced in a family by using pedigree analysis. Okay, yeah. See, remember I was telling about in the earlier classes also, the such Mendelian disorders may be a dominant or a recessive. Okay, and similarly, the trait character may also be linked to the sex chromosome, as in case of hemophilia and color blindness, and it is evident that this X-linked recessive trait shows transmission from carrier female to male progeny. Okay, so as we were discussed earlier also, if we take a example of the myotonic dystrophy, so that is nothing but by using the pedigree analysis of the autosomal dominant trait, we can identify, so out of both the parents, surely one parent is already having the disorder, so that in the next generation the ratio will be 3:1. Okay, so that's what I said, the Mendelian disorders may be dominant or recessive. In case of the dominant, so both of the parents. Okay, so out of the both parents, surely one person may be already having the disorder, so that surely it will appear in the next generation in the form of the 3:1 generation. Okay, when it comes to the recessive, if we take an example of the sickle cell anemia, see, observe here only, by using the pedigree analysis of the autosomal recessive trait, so in the beginning both the parents are actually normal. Okay, unfortunately, because of alternation or mutation in a single gene, so this sickle cell anemia is arised. Okay, so that's what I said, the such Mendelian disorders may be dominant or recessive. Okay, so because in all the cases we cannot say it is a dominant, in all the cases we cannot say it's a recessive. Okay, fine. Then the pedigree analysis helps to understand whether the trait is dominant or recessive, so that we can sort out. Okay, we can sort out the further problems. Okay, yes, so let us study one by one. In that one, in your syllabus, the first one, it is given hemophilia. Hemophilia is a kind of gene disorder due to the absence or less number of clotting factor that leads to delay in clotting of blood from the injuries. See, generally, okay, don't think that the cut should be always the measure. So the person may be having food habits of the non-veg and all, while they are consuming, while they are chewing, and due to the physical activities, internal small injuries may be happens. But those are all things will be managed by our internal body system because of our healthy nature. But the problem is, if the person is suffering from this type of the disorder, okay, so that the problem what will be, yes, the hemophilia is a kind of gene disorder due to the absence or less number of clotting factor that leads to the delay in the clotting of the blood from the injuries, so that it is also known as Bled's disease. Okay, it is also commonly known as Bled's disease. And so this common disease, generally the hemophilia, is called royal disease of London. Okay, so I told you in the earlier classes also why it is called royal disease of the London, because it is first traced in the Queen Victoria, isn't it? So that's why it is commonly known as the royal disease. Then, and what is the problem actually? Why it will happen? As I said, the hemophilia is a sex-linked. The defected genes which is present on the X chromosome, and it is a recessive. Okay, the sex-linked, it is also known as X-linked recessive disease. In this, the protein involved in the blood clotting is affected. Okay, a simple cut results in non-stop bleeding. Okay, so this results in the profuse and prolonged bleeding even from a small wound also, or small internal injuries. Okay, and remember, it is controlled by a pair of alleles, capital H and small h. Capital H is normal allele and small h is responsible for hemophilia. Okay, if you write in the form of the genes, see here, the X to the power of capital H, X to the power of capital H. In homozygous condition, it is considered as normal female. Okay, if you write in heterozygous condition, X to the power of H and X to the power of small h, so it is heterozygous female. So they are considered as carriers. She may transmit the diseases to the sons in next generation. And X to the power of small h and X to the power of small h in homozygous condition, so surely the hemophilic female. Okay, and X to the power of H and Y, so they may become, fortunately, unfortunately, if they are lucky, they will become normal male. Okay, but if X to the power of small h, Y combination, surely that person, the male, will become hemophilic. So these are all the genes generally, okay, which is identified in case of the hemophilic persons. Okay, and as I said, it is due to the recessive gene for clotting factor. Note down, the clotting factor actually H, which is present on X chromosome. Hence, it is an example for X-linked inheritance. Okay, therefore the hemophilia is a hereditary disease. Okay, and note down, the occurrence of hemophilia is more in males than in females. A single recessive gene X, that means on X chromosome, is sufficient in males to express the character. That's what you can identify in the table, the last one, X to the power of small h y. So that's what I said, a single recessive gene on X chromosome is sufficient in males to express the character, whereas in females there must be 2 recessive genes required for the expression of the trait. Hence, it is rare in females but common in males. Okay, note down, these points are very important for the purpose of the competitive. Did you get it? Yes. And as I said, hemophilia was first reported by John Conrad Otto. Note down the name of the scientist, John Conrad, C-O-N-R-A-D Conrad Otto, O-T-T-O Otto, in 1803 in the royal family of the Europe. That's what I said, in Queen Victoria. Hence, the hemophilia is also commonly known as royal disease of London. The family pedigree of Queen Victoria shows a number of hemophilic descendants as she was a carrier of the disease. Okay, yeah, so that's what I said. Here is the pedigree. So that means in a female hemophilia is very rare, but it happens only when the mother is at least carrier and the father hemophilic. Okay, so that's what it is commonly known as unviable in the later stage of life. Can you be able to identify? Yes. So if we write the normal round, then that's the indication of the normal female, and normal cube, that is a male. Off shaded circle, the carrier female. Completely shaded cube is the indication of the hemophilic male. So these are all the descendants. Okay, the Queen Victoria was a carrier of the hemophilia, so her family pedigree shows many hemophilic descendants. Actually, she also died because of this hemophilia only. Okay, yeah. One more thing, note down, all of you, please note down. So these points are not mentioned in your textbook. There are 3 types of hemophilia. Okay, I hope you all know right thing. If you don't note down, that will be lost for you people only, because in competitive generally they will ask. There are 3 types of the hemophilia. Okay, that is nothing but hemophilia A, hemophilia B, hemophilia C. So how it will be? Let me explain briefly. In case of the hemophilia A, it is due to a defective X-linked gene. It is a typical sex-linked disease that accounts for out of 100%, 80% of the hemophilic cases are generally hemophilia A. Okay, and the affected individuals has a least number of AHF. Note down this one. What is AHF? Means anti-hemophilic factors. That is nothing but generally the clotting factor 8. Clotting factor 8 is commonly known as AHF, anti-hemophilic factors. Then write down the second one, hemophilia B. It is a mild form of disease exhibited by 20% of the hemophilics. As I said in the beginning, cases out of 100, 80% will be identified as hemophilia A, but remaining 20, it is a mild form of disease exhibited by 20% of the hemophilics, and it is due to a recessive gene present on X chromosome. It is due to the reduction in PTC. Write down what is PTC? Plasma thromboplastin components. It is commonly known as clotting factor 9. Okay, so write down this clotting factor 9 is also called Christmas disease. Hemophilia B is commonly known as Christmas disease. So these are all things they will ask in your competitive. Okay, and the last one, the hemophilia C. It is the mildest form of hemophilia. It is very rare. Of course, it is also noticed. The mildest form of hemophilia exhibited by only 1% of the hemophilics, but it is very rare. Okay, and it is due to the presence of a rare autosomal gene which interferes in the production of PTA. Note down, what is that PTA? Plasma thromboplastin antecedents. Okay, PTA means plasma thromboplastin antecedents. That is nothing but commonly known as clotting factor 11. Okay, so these are all three types of the hemophilia. So till now it is noticed in human race. Okay, so remember, write down and remember it, because these types of hemophilia is important for the purpose of the competitive. Okay, types will not ask in your theory. Okay, fine. The next one is color blindness. Okay, so what is the color blindness? The color blindness is commonly known as X-linked recessive. That is nothing but why it will be X-linked recessive. It is a common X-linked inheritance caused by a recessive gene which is prevents the development of color sensitive retina cells in eye. Okay, as a result, the affected individual is unable to identify or differentiate between the colors. That's what I said. Specifically, it is a sex-linked or X-linked recessive disorder due to the defect in either red or green cone of the eye. It results in the failure to discriminate or differentiate between red and green colors. And in the beginning only I told you, it is due to the mutation in some genes in X chromosomes. Okay, so those genes are responsible for the formation of the red and green cones of the eye. Okay, fine. Are you able to follow? Yes. And it occurs in 8% of the males and only 0.4% of the females. This is due to the genes are X-linked. So here is the commonly they have given. Can you write the number in this figure? If you, that means what is the number? The number 74. If no, you may have color blindness. Okay, so this is how exactly generally the normal color vision, but comparatively the how those colorblind peoples are able to identify. That's what I said. They are not able to differentiate. Okay, yeah. And the colorblind, actually, before I am going to tell about these things, please note down there are two types of the color blindness. Till now it is recorded. Okay, please note down the types of the color blind: monochromatism, and the second one is dichromatism. Okay, what is the meaning of monochromatism? The affected individuals are totally color blind and is unable to differentiate colors even in bright light. So such a type of the color blindness is known as monochromatism. And when it comes to the dichromatism, the second type, write down what is dichromatism. The affected individual is partially color blind and is unable to differentiate some colors. The most common among them in the red and green color blindness, also called daltonism. Note down, See, these questions are all they will ask in competitive. What is daltonism? Daltonism is a type of color blindness. It is commonly known as dichromatism. So that means the red blindness is called protanopia. Note down, the red blindness, they are not able to identify the red color. The red blindness is called protanopia, Protonopia, where the individuals see gray instead of red. And while the green blindness is called deuteranopia. The green blindness, deuteranopia, Deuteranopia, deuteranopia. Here the individuals see gray instead of green. Okay, so these colorblind people, they will not get driving license in the international levels. No country which issues, so that means they are not able to get the driving license because of the color blindness. Okay, and one more interesting thing, you know who is the founder of the Facebook? Yes, he is also colorblind. That's why he is used the color nature for the purpose of his identification. So that's what throughout the world nowadays we are using the Facebook. Okay, yeah. So this is about the color blindness and the types. Okay, when it comes to inheritance of the color blind in a man, see here that there are two examples which is given. By taking example, let me explain. See here, there are two cases what we have given here. Consider if a carrier woman marries with normal man. What are the possibilities in the next generation? So in next generation, there are four possibilities we can identify. One, the normal female, and there is another female may become carrier female, and one normal person, that is a normal male, and another may become colorblind male. So that means 50% of the possibilities. Okay, yes. And another case, if the carrier woman marries with a colorblind man. Okay, if the normal woman or the normal female, if they marry colorblind man, what may be the next generation? So as I said, the 50% of the possibilities, that means the carrier of female, and there is another possibility colorblind female, and another possibility normal male, and another one the colorblind male. So these are all the possibilities. Okay, we can identify when it comes to the pedigree. Okay, that's what I said. When it comes to the inheritance of the colorblind in a man, when a normal visioned male marry a colorblind female, all of their children become normal vision irrespective of the sexes, but the females are the carriers as they carry the genes for colorblind. When the carrier female marries a normal male, only 50% of the male children are affected with color blindness, and 50% may become, luckily, they will become normal. Here the characters of the colorblind from grandfather is inherited to the grandson through F1 female, is called crisscross inheritance. Okay, note down, what is a crisscross inheritance? The characters of the colorblind from grandfather is inherited to the grandson through F1 female carrier, is called crisscross inheritance. So that's what here it is mentioned the normal allele is dominant, capital C. The recessive allele, small c, causes color blindness. The son of the heterozygous woman carrier x to the power of capital C and x to the power of small c has a 50% chance of being colorblind. A daughter will be colorblind only when her mother is at least a carrier and her father is colorblind. X to the power of small c y. Okay, so these are all the possibilities we can identify in case of the color blindness. Okay, so let it be. Next class we will continue, because one day only if you explain all those things you may get confused. Today we were discussed about the two important genetic disorders. The first one is hemophilia and the second one is color blindness. Okay, by considering with competitive. Okay, so let it be. Next class we will continue the remaining things. Thank you. Have a nice day.